Yo, it's another beautiful day to learn something new. And today I want us to talk about the men who have fallen off. And wale wanaume, your source of income has dried up na sasa you've fallen on hard times. Mambo ni magumu, things are thick. Biashara ifanyi poa, you've lost your job, your source of income has dried up. Kila kitu kwa life yako imesimama, vitu zinarudi nyuma. And now umefika mahali mpaka unashangaa. Hii ni kurogwa ama ni nyota nimepoteza ama what exactly is not happening in my life. So kama unajua mtu kama huyo ama wewe ni mtu kama huyo, this video is for you. And for some of you are lucky. You still have family yenye inakusupport kabla ujipangapange kidogo. You have a wife ama demu yako ni mtu ako willing kukusupport, kukushikilia kidogo, kusaidiana bills hapa na pale before you get back on track. But some of you are not that lucky. So mabeshto wamekupotea, bibi amepotea, familia imekutenga. Nobody cares about you, you're isolated. Hakuna mtu anakuheshimu, hakuna kitu unaongea mtu yote anakusikiza. Like there are no opportunities coming your way and you're going through a lot. Alafu ukiangalia penye umetoka, mambo yako ilikuwa poa, ulikuwa na do, you are able to take care of your family. Now you can't. And as men, one of the things that give us a lot of pride and confidence is knowing that you can be able to take care of your family, maybe your parents or siblings, ama wale wanakutegemea. Knowing that you can take care of them, that makes you feel very confident and makes you feel like a man. So when these things are not happening, manzi unasikianga hiyo story imekubo deadly. Now, there are so many people in this situation. So now, how comes unajipatanga kwa situation kama hiyo? Is it that ni nyota yako imeibiwa, ama ni mtu anakuroga, ama what is going on? So, from what I can tell you is there are several reasons why you end up there. Now, I always tell you, anytime you get into problems, there's always something called blockages. Blockages in our lives are what causes problems. Okay? So the first thing is always to look for the blockages in your life. What is it that has happened yenye imefanya hiyo situation yako ikakuwa hivyo? Because you just don't wake up one day and everything goes wrong. Kuna tu vitu tutakuanga tukiendelea hapa na pale wenye tunafanya situation yako inakuwa mbaya. So the first place you need to look for blockages, unafaa kuangalia kitu inaitwa phases of life. Uko kwa phase gani ya life yako? Sometimes we just live life too far without understanding the phase we are in. Na kuna phases mingi. Kuna ile phase ya yenye unaanza ku accelerate pole pole, alafu unaanza ku peak pole pole, alafu unafika peak, alafu una hit ka plateau kidogo hapo, vitu zina aziendi juu aziendi chini, uko tu mahali, alafu ikifika mahali unaenda chini. So in every season there are things that you're supposed to do and there are things that you're supposed to learn. If you remember in the Bible there's a story of Joseph. Joseph alikuanga na dream. The king had a dream and then Joseph akainterpret like there is 7 years that will be of abundance and then 7 years of lack. So hizi 7 years ndio tunafaa kugather kila kitu so that when it comes to the 7 years of drought, whatever we had gathered in the 7 years of abundance zitaweza kutushikilia within the 7 years of drought and famine. That's the same thing with your life. Kuna time season yako ya kulearn, ya kuaccumulate vitu so that vitu zikistagnate ama zikianza kwenda chini utakuwa umejishikilia. But for us, what we do, vitu zikianza kwenda poa, we start changing our life. Tunaanza kuassociate na mabishto wengine wapya, you move to a new neighborhood, unabaika gari, hiyo time ndio unaongeza bibi, hiyo time ndio unaongeza madem, hiyo time ndio unaongeza usherati, and then inafika mali unajichanganya na vitu mingi and so many spirits that sometimes mpaka you don't even know ni gani kati hizo yenye inakuendea vibaya. We underestimate how much our thoughts, our actions and our words affect our spirit. So ulienda au kujua seasons zako, maybe ukajichanganya na vitu, ama maybe ukajiekelea vitu zenye au unafaa kujiekelea at that particular time. You made decisions that were not as smart, ukajiekelea liabilities au unafaa kujiekelea, ama ukajiattach na environment zenye zili kudestroy spirit yako and they got you off your path and now problems are coming. Okay? Na that's why it's very important to understand your season. So it could be just a matter of seasons. Number 2, it could also be now what tunasemanga kuibiwa nyota. And kuibiwa nyota, we said it happens in three ways. Tulisema kuna sabotage. There are people who are trying to sabotage your life, whichever way, whether spiritually, physically, through maneno mingi hapa, blocking you from opportunities that you should be getting. People who are getting you into situations zenye zitakucost na vitu kama hizo. It could also be another way tulisema unaibiwa nyota, we said through exploitation. This is somebody who is taking advantage of you. Maybe you're too nice, sasa wanaona watakutumia hivyo, and you find you've spent a lot of money on these people, or umeinvest na wao and then they've disappeared, vitu kama hizo. Or the third way, it could be spiritual. Spiritual now is where people now attack you spiritually. Anaenda kwa waganga, they go to those occult sacrifices, and then they find ways of hitting at you spiritually. This one usually comes from mabishto wenye wanakusikilia wivu, or people who are not happy with your progress. Sometimes it's family, sometimes it's colleagues. It's just somebody who has bad intentions with you. Okay? So it could be that. Could be kuna mtu maybe anakuibia nyota through those 3 means zenye tumeongelea. Okay? So mostly seasons, mostly understanding your phases na kuibiwa nyota, that is where usually the problem is. Okay? Also under seasons, we can say that maybe you stayed in one season for too long. When it was time to upgrade, you did not upgrade. Ama when it was time to downgrade, you did not downgrade. Wewe ulikaa tu hivyo, you didn't read the times well enough, and now that's why you're finding yourself in that situation. So you need to figure out which of those two happened. Kama umejipata kwa madeni sana, unapatanga maybe ni seasons. You got into debt, you're hoping to expand your business, but you got into the wrong season, unajipata na madeni. Ama kama umestagnate for a very long time in your finances, in your business, whatever, na ile shida yenye uko nayo saizi una feel ni stagnation. Stagnation is also a problem that comes with seasons. But ukianza kuona ni vitu kama rejection, you're not able to explain exactly what happened. You're always feeling angry, especially anger ikianza kuingia, unaingilia story kama usherati, unaingilia story kama za ulevi. Hapo I would say uangalie the 3 ways tumesema za kuibiwa nyota. Is there anybody who is sabotaging you? Is there anybody who is working spiritually against you? Is there anybody trying to use you badly, and now you're feeling like you're not worth it, so that unaingia hizi kwa hizi vitu kujaribu kutafuta peace. So that is the 2 ways. The 2 major ways, kama fall on hard times, one of those 2 things ndio zinafanyanga unakuwa kwa situation kama hiyo. When I was in that situation, I realized, number 1, I was in a bad environment. So for me, that was about seasons. I was in a place where within that season, I was not supposed to be there. So I ended up attaching myself to an environment that was not doing me well. So I ended up losing my confidence, ended up losing my faith. Sasa mpaka inafika mahali, even things that I used to do easily, siwezi zifanya because sina confidence. And I used to hate everything around. Si ati kusema ati environment ilikuwa mbaya kwa kila mtu. Kuna watu waliprosper kwa hiyo area, but kwangu mimi that was not the right environment for me. And that's why sometimes back I talked about kuishi kwa environment haina nyota. Because from the time I moved from that place, mambo zangu zilianza kufunguka pole pole, and I've been making some little progress here and there. So it's very important to understand, is it about seasons? Are you in a season yenye you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing? Do you understand your seasons? Because seasons inaendanga hivyo. Kuna ages zenye unafaa kuwa una build up pole pole. Kuna ages kwenye utakuwa peak, vitu zitakuendea vizuri sana, alafu after sometimes slow down, after sometimes iende chini. So hii time yenye ulikuwa peak ndio inafaa kushikilia hii time nyingine, na hii time yenye unapanda pole pole, kuna vitu unafaa kunafanya, kuna vitu unafaa kuna learn. Ukiwa pale juu, kuna vitu unafaa kunafanya, kuna vitu unafaa kuna learn. Ukirudi chini, ukistagnate, all those stages, kuna vitu unafaa kuwa ukifanya na kuna vitu unafaa kuwa ukilearn, ndio zinakuprepare for the next phase. So a lot of people are caught up in phases, especially when you're trying to transition to a different place or you've been in one place for too long. Na life inaanza kuchange because the older you get, the more life becomes expensive. So kama ujakuwa ukifanya what you're supposed to be doing in that season, kuaccelerate ama kuelevate inakuwa ngumu. So you find yourself umehit stagnation. So that is a case of not understanding your season. Okay? Kusema ni kuibiwa nyota, in most cases it's wale watu unaji-associate now, ama zile vitu unaji-attach nazo. Also here we talk about environments. And remember we talked about environment, we said it's anything that you've attached yourself to. Could be family, could be friends, could be job, could be an environment, vitu kama hizo. Ama unapata kuna watu maybe unasaidianga or your friends who are jealous of you. Kuna watu maybe kwa ofisi, if you are employed ama you're in business, there are people who are not happy with your progress, they are jealous of you, and now they want to do things to you zenye zitafanya wakueliminate kama competition. And that's where vitu kama kuibiwa nyota zinakujanga. We sometimes underestimate how evil people can be. So you go around because you think you're a good person, and everybody else should be a good person, and everybody else should also see you as a good person. But there are people who are working against you. There are people who are trying to sabotage you. There are people who are trying to do things to you, to block you in one or another, and you end up with too many blockages in your life na unafit kwa ile situation yenye uko saizi. So it's important kuangalia kama ni seasons zako zenye ziko mbaya, maybe hata ile season, maybe hata saizi zile unafeel ni kama uko chini, si ati uko chini, ni season unafaa kukua, maybe nothing is happening in your life, ama you're in a decline season of your life na you don't know what you're doing or what you're supposed to be doing, and that's why you're feeling confused because you're not used to being in that situation. So it's important to understand kama shida yako kubwa ni seasons, ama maybe kuna what we call watu wanajaribu kuibia nyota. These are people who are trying to exploit you. These are people who are trying to sabotage you. And these are people who are trying to move against you spiritually. So it's very important uangalie which of those two is applying in your life. And once you figure out which one, then now you can progress. And you can figure out how to get out of it. I always say the best way to get out of situations is to take time to reset. Napo ndo tunaongeanga about ile group yetu inaitangwa 40 days. 40 days wilderness challenge. It's a challenge for 40 days yenye itakusaidia kureset, itakusaidia kujua nyota yako, itakusaidia kurudisha nyota yako. It will help you understand what exactly your problem is, and then within that time pia you know how to fix your problems, and after 40 days you'll be able to fix whatever it is that you're going through. So kama you're not sure what is happening ama you don't know what to do next, you can come and join your group yetu inaitwa 40 days. It's on Telegram. Currently it's going for 550 shillings. Unalipa, unakuad kwa hiyo Telegram group, and then you take the 40 days challenge, and by the time you're getting maybe to day 25, 30 hivi, vitu mingi zitakuwa zimeclear, utakuwa umejua shida yako exactly ni gani, and by the time you're done with the challenge, mambo yako itakuwa imerudi poa, ama at least situation itakuwa imechange. So if you don't know where to start, 40 days is always a good place to start. So in a quick summary, tumesema when you find that yourself in that situation, mostly mashida zinakuanga mbili. It's all about seasons, the phases in your life. Ile season yenye uko, a lot of people don't understand. And the second thing inakuanga what we call kuibiwa nyota, and that is there are people in your life who are trying to sabotage you, exploit you, or trying to move against you spiritually. So you need to figure out which one of those two is affecting you, and then from there I'm sure you'll find a way to know how to progress to the next phase. All right, that's it for today's video, and I'll see you in the next lesson.